All right, so in case you are not seeing the screen very well, I will rewrite the questions. I will rewrite the questions before I solve them. I will rewrite the questions boldly, before I solve them. All right, so in the first video, there are some of the laws, although they may not be so essential, but of course they are also good to know. So I didn't include this other law that says that a to the power of x, then to the power of y. So this law, whenever you have something like this, you have to multiply the powers so that the answer becomes a x y. So that's what you should do when you have such law. Yeah, so also if you have a raised to power minus 1, this simply means 1 over a. So these are part of the things that you should know. Alright, I would still like to put some of the laws on the board so that we can easily recall it, or probably, or as I'm solving, I will be recalling the laws. So it's not necessarily the laws are on the board. So I believe you must have jotted the laws down on the first video. So the first question here is we have to simplify this. We have to simplify this expression. We have to simplify this expression. So you will see that this is just like what I just claimed. It looks like this law. So you say recall that a raised to power x y is equal to a x y, the product of the power. So here, a is the 4 here. X is the 1 over 2 here. Y is the 3. So what happened to this expression? When it was a to the power of x in brackets or to the power of y, the answer was axy. So what they did here was that they multiplied x and y. We multiplied x and y together. That's why we have xy. So the same thing will happen to this question. We'll multiply the half by 3 so that the answer becomes 4 raised to power 1 over 2 times 3. So this will give us 4 raised to power 3 over 2. 4 raised to power 3 over 2. So this isn't the end. Now you will see that this 4 raised to power 3 over 2 looks like this law that I gave earlier, that a to the power of x over y is equal to the y root of a all to the power of the x. Remember this law? Yeah, so this law, you see that this 4 whole number, 3 over 2, looks like this. So where a is the 4, x is the 3, and 2 is the y. So what happened to this one when it was like this is what will happen to this also. So that 4 whole number, 3 over 2 will become the 2, that's square root. You don't necessarily need to put this 2. When it is 2, it's not necessary that you put the 2. But I'm just putting it for your consciousness. Like there is a 2 here. It's meant to be invisible, but I'm just putting it. Alright, so the 2 here, then 4. But for other numbers, they must be there. It's only 2 that is not necessary that is there. Now you put the 3 as power. So we have expressed this. Now, the expression in the bracket, according to Contd, the expression in the bracket is what we have to solve first. So what does this mean? What does the square root of 4 mean? The square root of 4 simply means what is that number that when you multiply it by itself, for example, maybe 8 times 8 will give you that number. For example, which number will you multiply by itself? The way a is multiplying itself, that will give you 4. You see that 1 times 1 will not work. 0 times 0 will not work. The only number that will work is 2. So what it means is that the number that you multiply by itself 2 times, that's the square of this 2. A number that you multiply by itself 2 times, that will give you 4. That's what this expression means. Before I continue, let me take another instance. For example, if you have 8 and you have 3 here, that's the cube root of 8. This means which number, say for instance, x times x times x, will you multiply like this and it will give you 8? That means the same number that will multiply itself, how many times? 3, because of this 3. That will multiply itself 3 times to give you 8. And that number is 2. So this answer will be 2. Let me take another instance. If, for example, you have, let's say, 25, or no, let me use 64, and you have 5 here, or 6. It means what number will you repeat? Will you repeatedly multiply, like maybe k times k times k times k, like that, in 6 places, and we give you 64. That's the meaning of this expression. If you do it with 1, if you try 1, you see that the answer is 1. If you try 2, you realize that the answer is 2. So when you multiply 2 in 6 places, 2 by itself in 6 places, you have 64. So that means the 6th root of 64 is 2. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Okay, another instance, the very last one. If you have, let's say, 81, and you have 4 here, this thing means what number will you multiply with itself 4 times? That's like t times t times t times t, and it will now give you 81. If you try 1, it will still be 1. If you try 2, it will be 16. If you try 3, you realize that it is 3. So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 will give you 81. So the answer of this is 3. I don't know if you understand. So that's how to go about it. So to solve just this bracket alone, the number, the square root of 4, the only number that you multiply with itself by itself twice, that will give you 4, is 2. So the whole of this thing will turn to 2. Now the 3 on top here, 2 raised to the power 3. A raised to the power 2 means A times A. K raised to the power 4. K raised to the power 4 means K times K times K times K. So that means, this means 2 times 2 times 2. And the answer will be 8. So the answer for this particular question is 8. So I really hope you understand. But if you still don't understand, you can replay the video over and over again. Or drop comments below a request for the solution to the question. A better explanation. Probably if there is something else I can still add to it, or somebody else in the comment section can help you with that. Alright, so we'll check the second question now. So the second question says that we should simplify 216 this power 1 over 3. 216 is power 1 over 3. I think this is straightforward. This looks like this law, Ax over y, that says that this should be, this y will become the root y, then this a will be inside the root, and the numerator x is the one up here. So here, a is the 2 answers, x is the 1, and y is the 3. So what we do here is, we will have, since y was here, so 3 will be somewhere here. Let me write this, sorry. So the 3 here will be here. The 2 answers will be inside the root. Then, like I said, this numerator will be here. But whenever it is 1, it's not necessary you put it, because it will still be the same answer. But let's just put this for the very first time. So the cube root of 2 answers means which number will you multiply by itself 3 times, and it will give you 2 answers. You know it is not 1. 1 times 1 times 1 will not give you 2 answers. 2 times 2 times 2 will not. 3 times 3 times 3 will not. The only number that will is 6 times 6 times 6. So since it is only 6 that you can multiply by itself 3 times to give you 2 answers, it means that the expression here, the answer here is 6. Now, 6 to the power of 1 is same thing as 6, because I already told you that a raised to the power 1 is 8 in the law I stated here. So that's that. And this will take us to the third one. The third one says that we should simplify 16 raised to the power minus half raised to the power minus half times 27 raised to the power 1 over 3. So, firstly for this one, remember I said that this will be, okay, let me just state it properly. Very soon I won't do proper analysis like this any longer, because by then we should have understand, I hope so. So we recall this law that a raised to the power negative x over y is equal to 1 over the y root of a or to the power of s. So this is what it looks like. So now we use this law, we work for this first number and this number. So because of that, 16 will become 16 raised to the power negative half will become 1 over the square root of 16. I've told you before that these two may not be necessary to put here, so I won't put it this time around, but you know that it is there implicitly. Then raised to the power of 1 plus x was put, they put x here. So the 1 also is not so necessary. So in other words, if you have something like k, or k, yeah, k raised to the power half, it's just the same thing as square root of k. That's just what k raised to the power half is. That's another law that you register in your mind. So that's all for that. So we have expressed this. Now let's do the same thing for 4 raised to the power minus half. 4 raised to the power minus half also will return to 1 over square root of 4. And so put this. Okay, so but I haven't finished this. 1 over the square root of 16 means the number that will multiply itself twice and give you 16. That's what 16 is. Alright, so for this question, the square root of 16 is 4. So for this, the square root of 4 is 2. 2 raised to the power 1 is 2. So that's just that. Now the last number is 27 raised to the power 1 over 3. 27 raised to the power 1 over 3 is just the cube root. Since there is no negative 1 here, and there is no negative here, that's why there is no 1 over in this case. So it's just the cube root of 27, then you can put to the power of 1, which is since it has not put in anything. So the cube root of 27 means the number that you will multiply by itself, and it will give you, you multiply by itself 3 times and it will give you 27. So the only number that will work that way is 3. 3 times 3 times 3 will give you 27. So the answer for this one is 3. Now, we are going to multiply all our answers. The answer for this was 1 over 4. Let me see on the screen. Okay, so the answer on the screen, this thing is on this board. So the answer for the 16th part is 1 over 4. I'll write 1 over 4. I'm solving according to the question now. Times the answer for the 4 raised to the power minus half, which I solved here, is half 1 over 2. 1 over 2 times the answer for this one is 3. So the answer here will be, you can put over 1 here. 1 times 1 times 3 will give you 3. 4 times 2 times 1 will give you 8. So the answer for this question is 3 over 8. So that's that. Let's see. In order to write, you can pause the videos. You can pause the video before you write, so you have enough time to write. That's why this is not live. So you can watch anytime. You can watch at any time. Alright, so you can pause and write. But you can pause to try to get what you are listening to, the video you are watching. Alright, so the next question is number 4. So number 4 says that we should simplify 81 over 16 raised to the power minus 1 over 4 times 2 raised to the power minus 1. Alright, so like I said before, this minus here means 1 over. Now if this minus is being removed, you will be left with 81 over 16, and then you have the 1 over 4 times, then this raised to the power minus 1 is 1 over that thing. So Now, don't mind the fact that this looks big. It's not something difficult to handle. So it's just the same rule, 1 over. Now you remember that when you have this, it means fourth root of that thing, which is 81 over 16. So that's it. Then you can decide to put 1 there, but the 1 is not necessary. I've already said it. But just so some of us will understand, so then you still have 1 over 2. That's why I'm leaving it that. So 1 over the fourth root. You take the fourth root for 81 and fourth root for 16. That's because the fourth root is for both 81 and 16 in this case. So the fourth root for 81 is the number that you multiply 4 times by itself, and it will give you 81. So the only number that will do that is 3. Then the fourth root for 16, the number that you multiply by itself 4 times and give you 16 is 2. So this is 1 over 3 over 2. Now times 1 over 2. Now we can proceed to this. This means 1 divided by 3 over 2. That's the whole of this. 1 divided by 3 over 2. Then times, we have half times half. So mathematically, you can't divide a fraction by another. You can divide the fraction by fraction, but not directly. So you need to turn this to 1 times, then you turn 3 over 2 upside down, because division has changed the equation. Then you turn the numerator to denominator and denominator to numerator. So that would be 2 over 3 times 1 over 2. So that you have, if you put 1 here, 1 times 2 times 1 will give you, that's 2. Then you have 6 here. 1 times 3 times 2, 6. And reduce to the lowest form, that will be 1 over 3. So that's the answer for this particular one. Alright, so let's go to number, I don't know if I should, I'm just trying to like save time. I want to make sure I do as much as possible, I affect as much as possible question, but let's still see. Let me take the next number. The next number is number 5. It says that we should simplify 81 raised to the power negative 3 over 4. 81 raised to the power minus 3 over 4 times 25 raised to the power half times 243 raised to the power 2 over 3. Alright, so this one, we have said what it is before. The negative means 1 over. So you have 81 raised to the power 3 over 4 here. That's that. This means the square root of 25. 25 raised to the power half means square root of 25 times. This means the cube root, because this is 3, the third root, cube root of 243. Then raised to the power of the numerator, which is 2. So we do the same thing here. 1. This will become 4th root of 81 to the power of 3, because that's the numerator, times the square root of 25 means the number that you multiply by itself 2 times, and it will give you 25. The number is 5. So here means the number you multiply by itself 3 times, and it will give you 243. 243. So 243. Oh, I hope that's not a mix-up. Is that a mix-up also? Is that supposed to be 3 or 5? I think it's supposed to be 5, not 3. So it's supposed to be 5 here. This is supposed to be 2 over 5. 2 over 5. Right, so sorry, this place is 2 over 5. 2 over 5. So this is 5 here. So we are looking for the fifth root of 243. The fifth root of 243 means the number you multiply by itself 5 times in order to get 243. And the real number you can check that way is 3. So 3, the answer of this bracket is 3. Remember, that square is squared. So now, 1 over, the fourth root of 81 is in the bracket, so we solve the fourth root of 81. The fourth root of 81 is that number that you multiply by itself 4 times, and to give you 81. The number is 3. Remember, the bracket asks you, so 3 times 5 times 3 square means 3 times 3. 3 times 3, that's what 3 square is. So 1 over 3 times 3 times 3. This means 3 in 3 places. Multiplied 5 times 9. So that you have 3 times 3 is 9. It cancels this 9. 3 times 3 is 9. It cancels this 9. So you have 5 over 3 as the answer. And you can turn it to a mixed fraction where it will be 1 over 2 over 3. So that's the solution for that. Now let's go to the next question. The next question, so you can pause the video so you can write before the video proceeds. Alright, so the next question. Number 6 says that we should simplify 5 raised to the power x times 25 x minus 1 over 125 x plus 1. So that's the next question. The next expression we are simplifying. That's number 6. Number 6. Number 6. So now we are just approaching the serious part of the question. Those ones we have done earlier are quite softer. Even this is soft. It's just that it is a step higher than what we have been doing before. Alright, so when you look at this, you see that 5 is the first number here. 5 is our x times. And all the laws I have given you, you would have seen questions on multiplication base, multiplications having the same base. But it's not so here. You have 5 here, you have 25 here. There are different bases. So we need to find a way, we need to check if there is a way to reduce 25 to something like 5 also. Yeah, there is a way. So if you look at this 25, how can we reduce 25 to 5? 25 is the same thing as 5 times 5. 5 times 5. 5 times 5 can give us 25. So because 5 times 5 can give us 25, that means 5 in 2 places. 5 in 2 places can give us 25. I will turn it to 5 raised to power 5 in how many places? 2 places. So that 2 will be the power of 5. So this 25 square is representing 25. Now, you have x minus 1. Don't forget. X minus 1. I hope you get it. You have x minus 1. Now, down here, this is also 125. We need to express this 125 in a way that it will be similar with this, to have the same base. So 125 can also be reduced to a form of 5 raised to power something. So that would be 5 times 5 times 5 will give you 125. Now 5 times 5 times 5 gives 125. How many 5s are there? 3. That 3 will become the power for a single 5. From the law of indices that we have written before, 5 times 5 times 5, you add 1 plus 1 plus 1 gives you 3. So that's 5 raised to power 3. Then you put what you have, x plus 1. X plus 1. So from here, you have 5 raised to power x. 5 raised to power x. And then times 5. This is like, this place is like this form of question. That a, you multiply the powers x, 1. And multiply the powers because they are 8. So something like this. This is your x, the 2 is the x, x minus 1 is the y. So we are going to multiply the powers here. So when we multiply the powers, we will have 2x minus 2, 2x and minus 2. All over. We do the same thing down here. Multiply the powers. That will be 3x plus 3. Alright, so that's that. Now you will see that we are having similar bases now. Now for multiplication, remember the law of multiplication that says that the law of multiplication says that, let's recall the law of multiplication of expressions, terms with the same base but different power. That's ax times ay. Remember the law says that a raised to power x plus y, right? So that's what we are doing now. We have the same base 5, 5. So we write one of the 5s and then we bring out the power. The power is x. Now plus, because it is multiplication, so we plus for the power. The powers will be adding up. 2x minus 2, 2x minus 2. It's good to put brackets here to show that this is for the second part. If it is positive, if it is plus, if it is multiplication here and it's turning plus here, it's not a must to put brackets. It will not affect. But if it is division here and it's turning negative, you must put brackets. So please take note of that. All over 5 3x plus 3. That's what we have for now. Now, this we can simplify this expression here. It will become 5x plus, there is a visible one, a positive one. 1 times 2x will give you 2x. 1 times negative 2 will give you minus 2. So, and we have over. Okay, let me just simplify. This over means divided by 5 raised by 3x plus 3. So, from law of indices again, okay, yeah, let's simplify this first. This will be 3x, 2x plus 1x is 3x minus 2. Now, division. Okay, let me put it first. Division by 5, 3x plus 3. So, law of indices again, division, we pick one of the 5, and we have 3x minus 2, that's the first power. This division will turn multiplication here, it will turn subtraction, minus, then you open brackets for the second case, 3x plus 3. So here you have 3x minus 2, minus times plus 3x will give you minus 3x, minus times plus 3 will give you minus 3. So you have 5, we collect like terms, 3x minus 3x, we bring like terms closer together, minus 2 minus 3, 5, 3x minus 3x is gone, it's 0. So 0, we have minus 2 minus 3 will be left, that's minus 2 minus 3 is minus 5. So 5 raised to power minus 5, or you can simplify it according to the law of indices again that says that a raised to power minus x is 1 over a to the power of x. So that will be 1 over 5 to the power of 5, which is 1 over 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. Whatever the calculator value is, will be the answer. Alright, so I didn't want to waste our time before, but let's see. Let's just do the multiplication. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. 125 times 5 is 625. 625. 625 times 5 will give us 3,125. So that's the final answer is 1 over 3,125. So that will be the answer for that particular question. Alright, let's see another question. You can pause the video, like I told you, pause the video and then write down. Let's see the next question. The next question says that. The next question says that we should simplify solution. It says we should simplify 3n minus 1 times 27n plus 1 over 81n. So we have to simplify this according to the question. So to simplify this, it's just similar to what we just finished doing. It's just so similar to what I just finished doing. We'll see the least number there is 3. The least base is 3. So we need to see if there is a way we can represent 27 and 81 in 3 power. Alright, so 3 raised to power n minus 1 times 27 is the same thing as 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 times 3 will give us 27. So that's 3 times itself in 3 places. That's 3 times 3. Then you have the n plus 1. So 3 raised to the power 3 n is 3 times 3 times 3 is same thing as 27. Over, for 81 it will be 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, 3 in 4 places. In multiplication form. That's 3 raised to the power 4 is the same thing as 81, and you have the n here. So we have 3n minus 1, 3 raised to the power n minus 1 times, here, from the log, when you have power and power outside, you need to multiply the powers. So you have 3 times n will give you 3n, to give you 3n plus 3. 3 times 1 gives you 3. So over 3, then you multiply 4 and n, 3, that's 4n. 3, 4n. Alright, so this is 3n minus 1 times 3 raised to the power 3n plus 3. This division over is division 3, 4n. 3 raised to the power 4n. So 3n minus 1 times 3. Okay, let me take it gradually. You understand now? Just from the law of indices, if you have something like this, ax times ay divided by az. This will be a, remember, for multiplication, it's always the powers, the sum of the powers. But for division, to be subtraction, so z. So this is addition because what we have in between the first one is times. And this is subtraction because the second one is division. So that's what we are saying. So we are picking one of the threes. Then we have n minus 1 as the first power. Now, because this is times, I will use plus 3n plus 3. Division, because it's division, this will be minus the power 4n. So that will be 3n minus 1. When you multiply plus 1 with this thing in the brackets, to give you the same thing in the brackets, that's 3n plus 3 plus, minus 4n. Alright, so let's bring the n's together. That's 3n plus 3n. I'm bringing the n terms together. Minus 4n. The sign didn't change because it's not equation. So I brought the n together. I have ordinary numbers now, plus 3 and minus 1. So that's 3. This 2 will give you 4n minus 4n. 3n plus n1 plus 3n give you the 4n. So minus 4n. 3 minus